Swenson has gone forwards. The championship is in the balance right now as that purple Corvette storms forward. Oh no, trouble, car off in the kink. Is that DJ Alessandrini? He just scraped the wall. Oh no, more contact. There's a car hard in the wall in the kink, and they're gonna back it down now. Is that Eric Catil in the Hybridracing EG car scatter? And that was a big impact on driver's right.
Yes, it was.
It's DJ Alessandrini one and Eric Catil in the other. And the championship for Eric Catil came in feeling very confident, but it looks like his hopes are dashed on lap 1 here.
Yeah, just really, really sad. And
Alright guys, good morning. Road America. We got Missy and my dad. Light crew this weekend, but it's gonna be a good one. Yeah, Road America, one of the most sketchiest tracks in the US. Pretty narrow, pretty damn fast. I've had a lot of bad luck here. 3 years ago was the end of the hatch, and then last year I cooked the front brakes on the Sedan because my pedal box seized up. So I don't really have a lot of good luck around here, but I still love this track just because, you know, it's a classic, old school, dangerous and fast racetrack. I mean, the kink is incredible, and these cars, you know, they're a lot of fun to race here. Unfortunately, there is a lot of straightaways, so I am gonna have a little bit of a straight line disadvantage. So we've done a few things to combat that. Number one, we trimmed the wing out completely level, trying to reduce as much drag. And then obviously, you saw in the previous video, we did the whole air dam setup. I think it looks pretty good. But yeah, other than that, not really a lot of changes, just a few minor adjustments to the alignment. We took a little camber out of it, just because there's a lot of brake zones. I don't want too much camber on the front because then it's easy to lock up and flat spot them. And then the other big thing that we did, me and Rick from Haltech, we messed a lot with flat shift and auto blip. So I did a few test rips around, you know, around the block, and everything seems to be working pretty well. So we're going to see if it actually works, and that's going to be a huge benefit because number one, it allows me to be hard on the brakes, be really consistent, and not have to worry at all about rev matching or heel towing. I just basically just downshift using the clutch, and the way the Haltech system works, it registers if I have enough brake pressure, and then if I have enough clutch pressure. So clutch pressure set to like 650 PSI. Once I hit 650 PSI, it enables an auto blip if I'm on the brakes. If I'm upshifting on the throttle and then clutch, same situation, enables a flat upshift. So it like pulls like ignition and retards timing and stuff like that. But anyway, long story short, it's gonna hopefully make my life a lot easier in the car, and it's gonna make perfect shifting if I can fine tune it and get it right. The only issue that I have is I only have one real session to mess with it. If I have any issues with it or if it's not set up properly, you know, it's gonna be a question whether I wanna try to adjust it for qualifying or just turn it off completely and, you know, kind of rely on my foot skills to do the auto blip for me. So anyway, those are the major changes. Other than that, I didn't really do much else to the car. We did put a little bit of weight in the trunk. So we put 50 pounds back there, and then I took 50 pounds out of the side here. So a little bit more weight in the back. And then, yeah, same power, same overall weight, same tire setup. We got 265 fronts, 225 rears. And then, yeah, we're just gonna go out here for qualifying. Qualifying is in about 30 minutes. Not qualifying, sorry, practice is in about 30 minutes. And yeah, we're just gonna see how the car handles, and then we're gonna really give the auto blip and flat shift a good test. And if it doesn't work, my dad's gonna be chilling in pit lane with the laptop, for me to turn it off, and then I'll continue the practice without it. So let's get the car set up. We gotta do tire pressures, check everything over once again, and then get ready for the first session. brake zones. And dude, those shifts, they're freaking quick. So, car's good. I think Aaron had a little bit of pace on me. I think he's for sure gonna be a front runner. But I was hoping for 29s. He ran a 31.4, a little bit off of what I was hoping for. So, I don't know, we'll see. Practice one complete. Third overall, pretty good. 31.4 I think was my best. Right behind Aaron Lichty, which is the guy I was following the whole session. I knew Aaron's car was going to be really good here. He's got the Porsche Cayman with the PDK, about 230 horsepower, 3,000 pounds if I recall correctly. But yeah, that car with the PDK just shifts so fast. He's got 7 gears. It's pretty quick. It's good around here. And yeah, the fact that I was able to keep up with him is pretty good. I'm really happy about it. The car felt amazing. The auto blip and no lift shift, money. Oh, it is so good. I've never had it work that well before, so it is just perfectly tuned. It's set to activate at 650 psi on the clutch pressure, and it just felt so freaking good. So I'm pretty pumped about it. Makes my life so much easier, and the upshifting is pretty quick. It's awesome. I'm super pumped about it. But yeah, car felt pretty good. The car is tricky with the stagger, with the 265, 225 rear. At the beginning of the session, it's pretty loose because the rear tires are cold. Then the rear tire starts to come in, and then the front gets a little pushy, and then the rear tire starts to fall off, and then it gets loose again. So you got this swing throughout the session, and a 15-minute session, you know, the tires change quite a bit. So I'm trying to think about what I want to do to the car, but what I did notice, I did have a slight issue during that session, and I'll show you here. So yeah, popped open the engine bay, and what do you know? Axle boot tear. So that is so freaking annoying, absolute mess. Gonna have to swap that axle here next. I'm gonna wait for it to cool down a little bit, lift the car up and start working on that. I've had axle issues in the past, especially the first year that I built this car just because of how low it ran. And I guess for the past, season and a half, I've been lucky with the axle boots, haven't had to swap one yet. Unfortunately, here we are. I think it's just a combination of really high speeds. We're pushing 130 miles per hour, and then going over these rumble strips, there's a lot of vibrations, and one of the boots probably tore. It probably overstretched and then had a little cut in it. So yeah, just gonna pop that axle out, swap the boot. We should be good to go for qualifying. But also, because of that grease, it spewed everywhere, and I'm pretty sure it's on my rear tire because I have remnants of grease on the tire. Can't really see it on camera, but the car was so loose on the last lap that I think the axle boot went, spewed grease onto the car, and then caused it to become super loose. So yeah, I don't know. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is I thought the car was getting really loose at the end of the session, but it might have just been the axle grease. So I think all I'm gonna do for qualifying I'm gonna add a little bit more wing, put a little more wing. Right now it's fully trimmed out so it's level with the horizon. But the way aero works, you know, you have the air coming down and the air, ow, woo, that wheel's hot. You got the air coming down, so it's coming at a little bit of an angle, so it's still getting kicked up even though this is level. But the kink and the carousel was still pretty sketchy, and I think that's really the only advantage this car is gonna have against the Elite pack. So I have to make, you know, it's a compromise, right? Do I sacrifice handling for a little bit of straight line speed and less drag, or do I try to improve the strong characteristics of the car and, you know, make it faster in the carousel and the kink? Maybe I can make it pass into China, or what is it, Canada corner? So anyway, add a little bit more wing, might play a little bit with the shocks, a little bit less compression because it was over the bumps, you know, the car kind of walked a little bit, especially in the back. But anyway, let's get this car up in the air, get that axle out, and go from there. So it looks like the boot didn't actually tear, but I think the axle actually broke. You can hear it. Let's crack this baby open. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think those bearings are shot. Nothing broke, it's just the bearings have a lot of play, and it puked all the oil out, all the grease. Yeah, that's weird. New axle time. Axles are always a mess, but anyway, luckily I got a bunch of spare axles in the trailer. I think I have like 3 per side, but yeah, I grabbed one that was apparently good, but I noticed there was a little cut on the boot, so I had to basically tear it apart anyway, rebuild it. But now we got a fresh axle ready to go. Just gotta pop this bad boy in, and yeah, this is what I do with my axles. I just vent them. I got clamps here obviously, and then here I just I cut up a zip tie to about maybe like 1 inch or 2 long, and then I just clamp around it, so the axle is free to breathe basically. And because the thing about these axles is you're spinning them so fast that they start to balloon up a little bit if they're fully sealed, and then it's really easy to cut them, or they overstretch and then they get torn. So anyway, I've had good success with this method, so we're gonna pop this axle in and then yeah, go out there and try to put it on the front row. Super nice. We're in the tech, and that's how much the car weighs. That's right after practice 1, which is about 10 laps. 2682. My target is 2654. So 30 pounds overweight. It's pretty close. I might add a little bit more weight. Oh man, I got a lot of grease on me. I might add a little bit more weight for quality, just to make sure I'm safe. But I don't know. I think we're good. On a few things. This is a no contact series. The straights, we all know what we want to do. Great.
One, the racing line in 14 is generally a left side tire over the curb, a right side tire on the curb. Is that considered inbounds or out of bounds? That's inbounds. The track and I would say this is
I
a track
said it will be reviewed. I didn't say it was a defect.
but in 14, we think left side's over the curb as long as right sides are on or in that. Okay. So if you drive through the grass, it's
Also sucking.
Not fast
go in the
enough.
grass.
can't drive now. check weight?
No, I broke an axle, so I'm trying to get back to paddock.
Okay. Do you have another one?
Yeah, I have another one, but sucks to fuck up like that in qualifying.
Just my freaking luck, man. So I swapped the axle on the driver's side because in practice, the bearings in the original axle were pretty shot. Now that axle, it had a special C-clip on it from Hasport. That it's a little bit tighter than an OEM C-clip, and it keeps it inside the trans, because I've had issues with the trans lately, or I guess like 2 years ago, where the axles would pop out, it would spew all the transmission oil out, and yeah, you'd have no drive because you basically have an axle outside the transmission. Well, sure enough, the new axle that I put in did not have an aggressive C-clip. I mean, it did, but I guess not aggressive enough as the one I took out. So basically what happened, the second flying lap, which was the one I was actually pushing on, I could tell the axle came out. Because in carousel, I almost lost it. The car was insanely loose because all the oil, look at this. This is all transmission oil. All down the side of the car. So yeah, I knew the axle popped out because I had no grip in the left rear. So it was super sketchy in the carousel, super sketchy in the kink. And I was like, all right, I can still finish this lap. The axle's still holding. And I could get maybe like a 33, which would put me probably in the top 10. And of course, the final freaking corner, the axle completely popped out, lost all the drive. Luckily, I was able to coast through the pits. And then, yeah, I had to basically stop way down there. And then me and my dad, we had to push the car all the way from there to here. And I did get the freaking axle fixed. We did it in probably 3 minutes. We got the car in the air, wheel off. I managed to pull the axle out. I grabbed the C-clip off the other axle, put it on this one, put it all back together, put the car on the ground, got back to grid because it was a 30-minute session, and then unfortunately they did not let me back out because I think there was a car, I don't know, probably Austin Hurdle or someone, because he just got towed in. There was a car stuck on the front straight, so they just completely called the session. So long story short, really frustrated. Man, this axle issue plagued me in the past. I thought I fixed it, and now here we are, 2 sessions in a row with axle issues. The second one completely ruined my qualifying. I think I qualified 19th out of 60. So, it's gonna be a frustrating race. The good news is, race 2 is graded based off of fastest lap. So, this first race is essentially just gonna be a throwaway. I could try to move up, maybe get a top 10, but the goal is to get a good lap time and hopefully get back up to the front of the grid for race 2. And the other good news, I forget. Oh, well, not really good news. I need to fix this axle, and then I need to do a hardship lap just to make sure it's not gonna happen again during race 2, or race 1. So anyway, yeah, we got the car's back together, but I'm gonna take it apart again. I'm gonna probably try to spread the clip apart a little bit to make sure that thing is not going anywhere. I don't know what the issue with this is. In my opinion, I think it's the OsGiken diff. It's probably the machining on it is not tight enough or something. Because the axles do not want to stay in the trans. And you go over these rumble strips and the thing just pops out. And then once it pops out, that's it, you're done. You lose all your transmission oil and you lose all your drive, and that's the end of your race. So really freaking frustrating. Anyway, that's qualifying. Just bummed. Bad luck at Road America continues. What can you say?
Let's get to work. Senna?
No, he doesn't want to help. All right. Looks like it's going to be me. All right, so here's the situation. This is the replacement axle I just put in with this axle cup with this C-clip. So this C-clip is already, it's not an OEM. They're more aggressive. You can see it's got that little angle in it, that little kink. And this axle with this clip popped out, even with this modified clip. And this clip is basically designed to have a little bit more retention force inside the diff. So this popped out, and I replaced the C-clip with what came off the axle in the first session. And you can see when these axles pop out, you just chew through the outer portion of the axle spline. So I just probably did that. This one, the one from practice, it's already had that too. You can see it's all chewed up. So I was going to put this cup on this axle with this original C-clip, but I might actually take this axle here because this one looks to still be in one piece. Like I don't know, maybe, I don't know. So I'm gonna put this one on, I think, and I'm going to put the good clip, the one that I know stays in the transmission, and I'm gonna spread it apart a little bit and then put it back in, do a hardship lap, and hopefully that's good. Freaking axles. All right, race 2 coming up. Hopefully fix the axle issue, fingers crossed. I'm 80% confident. I got the good C-clip, I got the good axle CV joint. I spread the clip apart a little bit, bled brakes, and checked everything over, everything looks good. So hopefully this axle holds. Starting P19. Name of the game, try to move my way up as much as I can, and then eventually try to run a good flyer, try to get like a 231. That should get me up close to the top 5 again. So wish me luck. It's gonna be an interesting one. Hopefully we can break into the top 10 and get a good lap to start top 5 in race 2. So let's do it.
America's National Park of Speed is a big place at Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. And this weekend, one of Grid Life's biggest festivals, Summer Apex Festival, presented by Falcon. Of course, this is a 4-mile course here that was built back in 1955. And the racetrack here, Matan, take me through a lap. It's a long track. It's a fast racetrack, but it's got a lot of really unique character.
Yeah, so Road America is probably one of the faster racetracks that we go to. So, starting into turn 1, you have a large deceleration zone. So this track has a lot of big acceleration, hard on the brakes, get the car pointed back on gas. So I expect to see the cars with more horsepower and more weight excel at this racetrack.
In the points battle here this season, Luke McGrew leads the way. In qualifying, he was unbelievably fast. I think he's a driver to watch. But Owen, we look at Eric Cattell. He struggled in qualifying. He's got a lot of work to do in this session. So, for him, how important is it for him just to stay patient, work his way through the field, and not turn this into a worse race than it otherwise would be?
Yeah, I think that Eric would just need to kind of rely on his strengths. And Eric's has had a really good season. Eric's had 5 wins and 12 starts. He's only missed the podium 1 time, and he's never finished below 4th. So I think that Eric just needs to rely on what he's good at, and that's getting in the top 4s.
This is a big field, Owen. We've got over 50 cars, 55 that qualified earlier today. We're going to get to not see all of it because we can't get it all in one shot. But, this is really a true indicator of the strengths of GLTC to have a field this big at a first-year event. Road America's popular racetrack, but this is kind of par for the course for us.
Yeah.
Of sorts, too. Luke McGrew is in the opposite row, so I thought they might have lined up together. But Luke wants drivers left, maybe to protect down into turn number 5.
And then also, but like Eric Magnuson, he's probably ready to go with Luke McGrew, but he's also got James Houghton behind him. I think that there's one person on this grid that I'd be the most scared of. Sorry, Matan. It's going to be James. I don't want him behind me.
Matan unfortunately can't do much harm to those guys right now as he's up here in the booth with us for Grid Life Touring Cup race number 1 from Road America. Green flag, and we're racing at the National Park of Speed.
think Luke was side by side with Eric Magnuson. Looks like they single
Wow,
filed out
James,
now.
he holding it together. Can he hold it around the outside of turn 7 here?
Big wiggle, he's off, and Wimble spins right center track, and that's a bad place to be. Contact and crash at turn 6. And Eric Cattill's nose
Collected from there a little bit too.
all punched in.
Yeah.
And the Hybridracing Civic Fario is damaged.
That's too bad.
And there's Cattill pulling off course, and you just hate it for him.
Man.
How much work he puts into this car.
That's too bad. That's too bad. You don't want to see that, especially with a driver like Eric Cattell.
Yeah, we'll see if how much of that is just superficial and how much of it is a deeper issue. But yeah.
What's up, guys? Just want to do a little voiceover here to kind of explain what happened in this whole situation, what I was thinking, and could I have done anything to avoid this. So obviously starting in 18th puts you in a bit of a dangerous situation because the mid-pack, it usually has the most amount of incidents. So I was trying to be smart, work my way up slowly but surely, and I already made up a few positions here, and now I'm behind my good friend Unit2Fab, who I know is a good racer. So I just got a good run on 60,000 and cleared her pretty easily, so now I'm going to set myself up for the next corner. So if we pause the video right here, Unit2Fab in the white Miata enters a corner with a pretty shallow angle, so I decided to set myself up wide on entry to carry more momentum through the corner and then have some extra speed going down the next straightaway. But unfortunately, because of this decision, I had zero visual of what was happening ahead of me. I had no idea there was a car spinning in this corner. All I can see was Emil's Miata and Austin's 370Z. Even just looking at this still image, you cannot see that there is a Corvette perpendicular to the racetrack at the apex. So let's press play here, and the rest of this happens really quickly. So the cars in front of me are slowing down way more than expected, so obviously something's up. So to avoid rear-ending the Miata, I move left and then slam on the brakes to slow myself down, but unfortunately I'm now in the dirty part of the racetrack and then applying way too much brake, so the rear locks up and puts me in a pretty nasty spin. So to try to save myself from spinning out, I run out of steering lock right here, and now I'm trying to apply a little bit of throttle to catch myself, but then right here is my first visual of what is actually happening. A car completely stopped on the track, which Austin hits, and then completely stops in front of me, which leads me nowhere to go except for rear-ending him. And to add insult to injury, Austin's car is also a heavy tank, so the Civic was obviously going to lose that physics battle, folks. So what was actually the cause of this entire incident? Keep an eye on the teal S2000 behind the red Corvette. As you can see, he tries to go for a crossover maneuver, but misjudges the amount of space he had and puts the Corvette into a spin. It was obviously unintentional and a mistake, but then it causes this awkward situation where there's a car parked perpendicular on the exit of this corner. So while this is all going down, my line of view is obstructed by the Miata, and then people start to slow down pretty quickly, which puts me into a spin, and then the BMW there goes left to avoid the Corvette, which is actually the car that Austin hit, slowing him down, causing me to then hit Austin. So obviously I had really no control of the car at that point, and that's just the lack of ABS and, you know, reacting too late. But like I said, I didn't see a thing until the very last second, and at that point it was too late to do anything about it. Here's one more angle of the incident from Unit2Fab's point of view. He's in the white Miata, and what's interesting here is you can see him put his hand up and waving that something's happening. And also the fact that he avoided all of this is incredible. But the reason why I said that hand wave is interesting is because despite his glove being lime green, you can't really see it in my video. And I definitely don't remember him waving while I was driving. So if we slow that down, coming up to this corner, I didn't see a hand wave at all. I don't remember seeing a hand wave, and you can kind of see it for a split second right there. But at that point, it's already too late. I really applaud Emil for trying to warn me that this was happening, but yeah, this is just the case of being in the wrong spot at the wrong time, and it's all because of a stupid C-clip that ruined my qualifying and put me in this bad situation. So there you go. That is the first major accident I've had in the 4-door sedan since I built it. It's extremely unfortunate, and it's just my bad luck continuing here at Run America. I do think the incident I had in 2019 with the EG hatch was entirely my fault for making the worst decision I could have made. and that caused me totaling that car. And I've learned a lot from that incident, you know, not to take unnecessary risk and put my car in dangerous situations. But I do think that in this situation with the sedan, I don't think I could have done anything different. I couldn't see a damn thing of what was happening ahead of me, and by the time I was able to react, it was already too late. The good news though is everybody was okay in this accident. I was fine, Austin was fine, Tyler Pappas in the BMW, he was okay, and of course the Corvette driver, Gary Wimble, nobody even hit him, which is miraculous. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this whole incident. Could I have done anything different? Should I have been more cautious coming into that corner? I'm kind of curious to see what you guys think. So anyway, that is the end of this video. Stay tuned for the next one to see what happens next. Is the car total? Can I fix it? Am I gonna race again with this car? I don't know. You'll have to wait and find out.